Hello there and welcome back. I'm Sarah, and in this episode I will guide you through Italy's social perception of migration. How are migrants described in the discourse of Italian politicians? How do social media and newspapers convey this representation? And most important, what do Italian people think about it? Let's discover it together. As we already seen, following the Arab Spring and the global migration crisis, anti-immigration stances based on securitization have been promoted by both right-wing and centre parties, especially after the victory of the coalition of the two populist parties, Lega and Movimento 5 Stelle. Matteo Salvini's right-wing party, Lega, especially, focused his narratives on the need for Italy to protect itself from threats coming from abroad. Therefore, security became one of the cornerstones of his political program, with a high prioritization of border control and a securitized management of the reception of refugees and migrants. The narratives of migrants as invaders and as a threat to security reached its climax with the promotion of the hashtag #Close the Ports and the slogan "Nobody comes to Italy" when Lega is governing. These narratives have been fueled by national media and newspapers, where the Mediterranean Sea has been represented as the setting of a perpetual emergency. The use of images and videos distributed by the main newspapers and television news channels have become the main instruments for the spread of these narratives, influencing consequently Italian public perception. So, what do Italian citizens actually think? And how have these narratives shaped their perceptions? Like many other European countries, Italy's perception of immigration and migrants has worsened after 2015, with a 42% of citizens considering immigration as one of the two most important issues facing Italy in 2016. But what are the factors that make immigration such a threat? Basing ourselves on a series of surveys conducted between 2016 and 2018, we will try to give an answer to this question. A first survey conducted by the Pew Research Center in 2016 illustrates how immigration is perceived as a threat to the internal and public security of Italy, with 60% of Italians feeling refugees as one of the potential causes for the increase of terrorism in the country. Moreover, 65% of the respondents agreed on refugees being responsible for the decrease of the labor market in Italy, mainly due to the fact that immigrants are perceived as competitors for available resources and job opportunities. In this sense, according to this data, immigrants are seen as a risk for the stability of the country, both in terms of public and economical security. Similar were the responses to a survey conducted in 2017 by Ipsos, where 61% of the respondents were concerned about the pressure immigration placed on public services, while 47% were worried about immigration impacts on jobs. But when it comes to immigration in Italy, societal security also needs to be kept into consideration. In particular, religious diversity represents an important issue, especially when the referent object is a country which is considered to be the center of Catholicism. Muslim population in Italy, along with Roma and Jewish groups, have increasingly become targets of xenophobia, as reported by the Pew Research Center. Indeed, as much as 69% of the respondents shared an unfavorable view of Muslims. Last but not least, in Italian perception, Muslims become the other, with half of the population believing Muslim to hold different values, and 41% of citizens believing that Islam and Italian society are incompatible. This is probably due to the fact that as much as 74% of Italians feel Islam not to be a peaceful religion. So, coming to a conclusion, we can say that, starting 2015, Italian politicians modified their narratives to fit the idea of Italy first and immigrants and refugees as invaders. This consequently influenced the perception of the Italian population who, as the survey highlighted, overall expressed a negative attitude toward migrants and their arrival in Italy. In general, the survey showed us that in Italy, the migration issue is strictly related to security, be it national, internal or economic, and that Italian citizens are more prone to perceive migrants and refugees as a threat to their security rather than as an opportunity. And what do you think? How are migrants perceived in your country? Feel free to leave a comment below. See you in the next videos.